Welcome to our charcuterie demonstration for the virtual soiree. I wanted to show you how quick and easy it was to make a charcuterie board, an elevated charcuterie board at home, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the things that we're going to use for our plant-based charcuterie board today and how you could follow along, and if you want any of these recipes we can give them to you. And thanks for joining our virtual soiree. We're very excited to be holding this for you all, even though we can't be together. We're excited that we get to somehow still connect with you all. So let's get into it. What we're gonna have on our charcuterie display, or this could be called a plant-based grazing board. It can be something that you share with just your family. It can be something that you bring to a gathering. It's an easy way to make things at your home and use the fresh ingredients and things that are local to us to be able to highlight in this like really delicious and very eye-catching, beautiful way. So what we're gonna make today is some really quick and easy, delicious tapenade. I have some sun-dried tomatoes and some veggies from the garden that we're gonna marinate in some olive oil. I have really delicious French white bread from Bread and Sea. A lot of this also comes from specialty produce. We have lots of different fresh vegetables and some really nice stone fruit and some kumquats from the garden. Some really great things that have come right from here from the garden, and I'll highlight those when I'm talking about them. So what we're gonna do is just start with our tapenade. So tapenade is just an olive spread, and so what I got for this olive spread was some of these pitted Castelvetrano olives. Those are hard for me to say, but these are super buttery. They're very smooth. These are just some of my favorite olives, and so I got some of these, and we're gonna mix in actually some of these garlic stuffed olives that are also very tasty. These are a little bit more sharp. They have that a little bit more acidity to them, and so we're gonna mix these two to make a really nice, flavorful tapenade. And so I'm just gonna use both of these two jars. I'm gonna drain these two jars. And you could save some of the water that they come in if you are interested in doing that. We're gonna drain our olives. We're gonna stick them in a Cuisinart. So the great thing about this recipe is you really don't have to measure anything. I love recipes where I don't really have to measure the ingredients. I like to just use what I have on hand, and that's what I do a lot of the time when I'm cooking in my own kitchen. I'm lucky to be at the Olivewood kitchen right now, but it's nice to be here with you using what I have. So I decided to use these garlic stuffed olives because I thought they would just be really tasty in here. If you happen to get the olives that have a pit in them, all you're gonna do is the same sort of thing that you do with garlic. You're just gonna take it and give it a little smash with the back of your knife, same as you do with this garlic, and then just take the pits out. If you have an olive pitter, you can also use that as well. So we've got our nice, beautiful olives in the bowl of our Cuisinart. I'm just using an S blade for this. Chopping up some garlic. I'm gonna put 2 cloves of garlic in here. I got this really beautiful garlic from Specialty Produce today. It's this purple, really pungent garlic. It's just really beautiful and nice. I also roasted some of it. I'll show you that in a minute for this board that we're gonna be making. So I'm just chopping up my garlic pretty thick. That's going in my bowl. The next thing I'm gonna do is add some of this beautiful parsley that we got freshly harvested from the garden. I'm just gonna rough chop this. I'm gonna use about half of this bunch. We're gonna go ahead and put that in. And then I'm gonna use an organic lemon that I have. I'm gonna zest some of my lemon right into my bowl. And this is up to you, however like lemony you want it. If you want it like have a lemony punch, go ahead and do a lot. I like the lemon zest in there. So I've done like maybe a teaspoon. If you don't have a zester, you can use a cheese grater, works pretty okay. So I probably have a teaspoon or so of lemon zest, but I'm also going to cut this open and use half of a lemon, half of a juiced lemon. Okay, beautiful. I'm just going to add a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, super easy, and then I'm just going to turn it on. I am going to add olive oil, but I'm going to wait until it's pretty much all broken down. That's it, so quick and easy. I'm going to give it another little pulse. Make sure all my garlic is mixed up in there. It already smells so delicious. So it's gonna be like this, sort of not all the way into a paste, but like ground up. And then I'm just gonna drizzle some olive oil in until I feel like it's finished. Just so it gets like a little bit of a wet consistency. Maybe about a quarter cup. Okay, and now we have our tapenade. So that's something so quick and easy that you can do at home to elevate your boards. We're gonna go ahead and put it right into our ramekin. Beautiful. If you don't want this ground, you can always pulse it to make it less of a paste, more of a like grainy consistency. So there's that. Then we're just gonna garnish it with a little bit of parsley, and that's done. Great. So that is our tapenade. We're gonna move on to marinated vegetables from the garden and sun-dried tomatoes. So I went ahead and got some fava beans from the garden. I blanched them and popped them out of their shell, so they're already ready to go. I roasted some garlic. What I do, so easy and so fast to roast garlic, I just cut it, the top off, put some olive oil on the top, throw it in the oven at 400 for about 15 to 20 minutes, and when they start popping out, you can tell they're finished when they're popped out. They squish in your hand. They're like a beautiful roasted browned color. They're amazing. And I don't even cover them. I just put them in the oven and they're ready to go. It's one of my favorite quick, easy roasted garlic tricks. And so I put about 6 to 8 roasted garlic. I put some chiffonade basil in here. I had some sun-dried tomatoes that I have reconstituted in some boiling water for about 10 minutes. That's just gonna go into our bowl here. I had these really beautiful baby yellow squash that I just cut up into bite-sized pieces. And I'm just gonna marinate this all in some really nice olive oil. And this is gonna be so delicious on top of our baguette. We're just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we're just gonna mix it all together. A little more salt. And then I'm just gonna cover it with olive oil. And this will keep in your fridge for quite some time as well with the olive oil. Just gonna cover it. So beautiful. Vegetables and olive oil is one of my favorite things. And it's so easy. And then we're just gonna give it a good mix. So all of that fresh basil is going to impart such a nice flavor. This is just such a springtime summer treat. You can even add a little bit of vinegar in here to give it that kick. This is so beautiful. So we have some of our favas, our roasted garlic, our summer squash, and we're just gonna let that sit and marinate. Beautiful. Okay, so now this is all gonna come together on our grazing board. There's a couple of things you can do here. If you're doing it for a few people, you can use smaller plates, which is what I have. I've already gone ahead and chopped all of my fresh veg, chopped some of my fruits, and roasted my garlic. I also made some turmeric pickles that are gonna be really nice on here. These are fresh from the garden. They're so crunchy. All I did was make a quick brine on the stove, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of sugar, rice wine vinegar, turmeric, black peppercorns, a little bit of dill, and some red pepper flakes, just for that nice spice. And so these are gonna complement, they're just like a nice crunchy vinegar pickle. Those are gonna complement our oil-based dishes. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and start building this board. And I'll let you know how I like to start. So I have two different options here. I have this really nice slate board that's really beautiful for food safe. And then I have this other pretty small wooden board. And so both of these I'm gonna build on. And so you can see sort of the difference in what I do. It's really like an art. You can put together the vegetables and ingredients just the way you like around. And I have my bread separately here on a different board just because then I can fit more things onto my smaller boards here. So if I was just gonna do it for myself and my partner, I'd probably just use one small board. If I was gonna be sharing, I might do two boards. Okay, so what I do first is I start with my rounds. So I'm gonna put my tapenade on here. I've also chopped up some rainbow carrots. So these are nice. I like to put things close to what sort of they go with. So if I want people to take and use the carrots and dip them into the tapenade, I'll put them sort of close, fanning around the bowl maybe, sort of to guide people to what they want to be eating. We also have some of these beautiful red and yellow peppers, and I've cut them large so that they can be used as like scoops. And we'll put some of these on the other side of our carrots. And then I have some strawberries that I've cut in half. The strawberries I like to leave the greens on so that you can just, your guests can just pick them up. We're just gonna put a few over here on the side. I have some beautiful pepinos, cucumbers from the garden. Those are also gonna go on this board. So this board's gonna maybe be more on the veggie heavy side. We have some nice nuts, some roasted almonds. Those are gonna go just here, pile up into the spaces. We're gonna put some Pepino Dulce. I don't know if you have all tried the Pepino Dulce. It's a sweet melony type doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it's really refreshing on summer days. We're just gonna pile that up here. And so basically I'm just using what I have available to me. All of these things were in the garden or from Specialty Produce, which is a local place to source our vegetables and fruits and herbs and such. I have these boysenberries we've got from the garden. So being able to just grab some things, highlighting our tapenade here, and maybe adding some of these, because sharing is maybe a bit of a harder thing to do now, we'll add some of these. And then what I'm gonna do with this beautiful board is just put some garnish on. I've gathered some nasturtium we can put around the base, some lavender. Whenever we put these type of garnishes on the board, it just elevates it that much more. Make it more beautiful, abundant. Just show people all the beauty in San Diego. Great. And then I'm just gonna fill in the gaps with some nuts. I roasted some of these beautiful pepitas with some za'atar that Irani gave us. And so here's one of our finished boards. We've got our peppers, our fruits, our vegetables, and we'll just highlight that later. Some things to grab with. We're gonna put our beautiful baguettes on the side to eat with our tapenade. And then for our second dish, we're just gonna go ahead and do the same sort of thing. We're gonna start with our rounds. We're gonna add our pickles to this dish. Our pickled veg looks so beautiful. It's nice to have the vinegar as like that nice bite. And then we're gonna put on the other side of that, in the same ramekin, so that they are matching. We're just gonna put our olive oil. So we have our vinegar-based bite, and we have our nice olive oil marinated vegetables on this side. So sort of a sweet and sour mix. Ooh, these are gonna be so tasty on our bread. I can already smell the basil. So this is, anything in olive oil is just like a really great way to elevate a board. Use a nice olive oil if you have it. So we have our two ramekins here. On a smaller board, we can even put these off to the side, put them on our board. Then I'm also gonna take some of our bread. We can put it right down the middle so that people can eat off of one side or the other with our nice bread. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of our fruits, these sweet and tasty apricots. We're just gonna pile them high. We're gonna put some of our beautiful berries here to complement those. The colors complement each other nicely. We're gonna put some of our nuts on this side of the board. A nice crunch. Get that, I don't know if you've heard of salt, fat, acid, heat. You want sort of all of those different distinct flavors happening. We'll have our radishes, and then we can Go ahead and put a serving spoon in here. And then some more crunch, we're just gonna go ahead and put the rest of our carrots and our pepinos right on here. Beautiful. And then we're just gonna fill in the gaps. I have some of our last kumquats from the tree. So when you have some similar looking things on the board, our apricots and our kumquats look similar, so I've gone ahead and chopped up our kumquats so they look different. So we've got some salty and savory, and we have our sweets, and we have our salty nuts, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in the gaps. You could always use a little jar for your nuts with a little spoon. Our beautiful boards. And these are the things that we would have at the garden when you're here for any type of event. And we just wanted to show you how easy it was you can do at home. We have some dill. We can just garnish our pickles with the dill. We have some fennel flowers that we could go ahead and stick right on the side here. So this is just a quick and easy way to show you how you can take something that we do at the garden for when you come and are enjoying your time here, and do it at home. It's like you can use what you have on hand. You can make it beautiful. People always say we eat with our eyes first, and so here's a way that you can make your family something beautiful and something tasty. Oh, our roasted garlic. I almost forgot our roasted garlic. This beautiful roasted garlic, you can just serve right on the side. They pop right out of you can even take some of them out. They pop right out of that looks really beautiful on a board. And then maybe some rosemary garnish right on the side here. Great. So what I have done is prepped all of the food beforehand, chopped my vegetables if they needed chopping, roasted some nuts if they needed roasting, roasted the garlic, and when I was roasting everything, I did it all at the same time. So I roasted the pepitas, the garlic, and that was it today. At the same time, you could roast your chickpeas, you could do a nice hummus instead of your tapenade. There's so many things that are easy and super fast, and you can have a delicious meal. And don't forget, it's always nice to put a little bit of sweet chocolate on your board. Chocolate goes really nice with some nice chocolate goes really nice with your fruit. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this soiree, and it's really great to be able to still connect with you all.